right, turning to a domestic issue for a moment, it would appear that the proverbial chickens are coming home to roost when it comes to the legalization of marijuana. Now, kind of like a freight train, a push to decriminalize marijuana has been moving across the country, even federally, in the last several years. Now, several studies and even government reports show an increase in traffic accidents and fatalities, an increase in public health costs as ER visits rise, and self-harm and mental health issues, all related to the legalization and the use of marijuana. So, can this pot train be turned around? Well, joining us now for a discussion on this topic is Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt, who is urging Oklahomans to bring an end to the medical marijuana use in their state. Governor Stitt, welcome back to Washington Watch. Great to see you.
Hey, good to see you too. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Let me just first say thank you for there's a number of issues. This is one of them, but many issues that you've just been speaking out with clarity, even though it might be counter to the political wind. So I thank you for speaking truth. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just bringing a little Oklahoma common sense to Washington.
Well, I understand that. I grew up in Oklahoma, so I understand about that common sense. Your recent state address, you called on citizens in Oklahoma to shut down the medical marijuana industry. What's your case for wanting to do this?
Yeah, well, first off, it passed. Oklahomans were kind of sold a bill of goods back in 2018 before I was governor because they thought they were passing medical marijuana. So they thought they were passing something that was going to help someone with chronic pain, and that was the only thing that could help them. But what actually happened is we have more dispensaries now than we have pharmacies. The industry's out of control. We grow, 32 times more marijuana than actually is consumed legally. So we know it's brought in cartel activity, Chinese influence buying land. It is not what Oklahomans thought that they were signing up for. And so I'm just asking the legislature, let's send that back to a vote of the people. We know it's harmful for young people. The stats are just very frightening. 73% of youth have increased use of marijuana now because they think it's a medicine or it's okay or it's not as harmful. And I just think that's a bad representation of our state. So I'm asking the legislature to let Oklahomans vote on that again.
And there is also a long train of studies that have shown that marijuana can be, not for all, but for many, can be a gateway drug. It can lead to other drug abuse.
Well, sure. I mean, absolutely. That's pretty common sense. And I'm just frightened by the amount of kids that are doing the gummies and doing these different things and the edibles and it's just we understand how harmful it is. And when you have legalized it, then young people think that it must be okay. But there's just a lot of problems with this industry. And until it's legalized nationally, I don't think we should have a checkerboard of jurisdictions from these different states. It just creates all kinds of black market problems, and so I think it's just overall bad. It's a bad look. And again, think about that: more marijuana dispensaries in Oklahoma right now than we have pharmacies, and so it makes no sense. And so I'm asking Oklahomans to retake a look at that.
I was actually discussing this issue last week with the governor of my home state, now Louisiana. Who Jeff Landry. We were discussing this as an impediment to job creation, because many industries that you want to bring into your state, they do drug testing. They want to make sure that they've got a clean workforce that's not going to create a liability for them because they're on drugs.
Yeah, I mean, great point. We hear that all the time, whether you're a forklift driver and you've got there's all kinds of banking regulations against it. It is really a big problem when it's illegally federally, and then you have these medical marijuana exceptions. Well, anybody with a hangnail can get a medical card now. And then how is an employer supposed to deal with that? They're trying to keep their employees safe. A lot of times they're truck drivers or CDL drivers and all this versus a medicine, but we know it's inhibiting their ability to drive safely. So we had to pass a law last year to make it crystal clear that we will not allow you to smoke, be high, in a car, even if it's for quote unquote medical use. So we're just giving some clarity around all those things. But yeah, from a workforce standpoint, a lot of times they have to do business in other states, so they have regulations, they have to test their employees, and we run into a lot of complications.
Just a little over a minute left, Governor. When you talked about this as an industry, and they sold the voters of Oklahoma a bill of goods. What's driving this? This is a profit-driven industry, and is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in our case, it's super easy to get something on the ballot in Oklahoma. And we've tried to make that a little more challenging and a little more representative around the state. But used to, you could just stand out in front of the state fair and you could collect signatures. So we had these groups from California that would come in, would collect signatures and get enough signatures and then get it on a ballot to the people. And so, again, Oklahomans are very compassionate. Most Americans are compassionate. And when you see the 30-second commercial that says, hey, this is going to help this young person or this cancer patient, this is the only thing that helped them from a pain management standpoint, then we're going to say, okay, that's great. We want that. We assume it's going to be medicine dispensed out of pharmacies. And then all of a sudden, bam, we started getting adversely selected. We started getting Chinese influence, people buying land. We started getting more dispensaries than pharmacies, and that's the problem.
So 20 seconds, Governor. Will the legislature work with you? Are the citizens going to have a chance to vote on this?
You know, I think so. We've got some great conversations with the House, the Senate. They know it's a problem. Oklahomans all over are calling our offices saying it's a problem. And so I think we'll get something back to the people. And if we do, I think they'll do the right thing, and we'll either remove it completely or we'll actually regulate it properly.